And yeah, Camera Mode API is what I will talk about, and you can download the SDK on this URI. So here you can see a few of the cameras that supports the API. On the top left, you will see a music video recorder. You have the action camera on the bottom, and in the middle you have inter-exchangeable lenses for photography. And here on the right, you can see some of the Lens Style cameras. And these are actually what I will be focusing on this session. So we have the QX10 and the QX100. And I have a QX10 with me, and I will show you sort of what the idea is. For example, you could have a stand like this and put it up, and you could also take it like this, just put it like that, and you have it on your phone. And the reason you would want this is because it gives you a lot more features than you normally would get on a mobile phone. For example, optical zoom and f-shutter speed and all that. But yeah, if you're an advanced photographer, you probably know the reasons why you should have this instead of a normal mobile camera, even though a normal mobile camera is pretty good as well. Yeah. So let's go into some specs. So we have two different ones. We have the QX10 and we have the QX100. Is anyone here a photographer? So we have a few photographers. So I'm guessing you will, from these specs, you can see that the QX100 is quite a bit better when it comes to dark photography, because of the f number, and the image sensor is a bit better as well. And that's why the optical zoom is a bit lower, because it's not really practical in dark lights. And here you can see some of the new features and the old features as well, presented in the version 1.550 even. Yeah.
Version 1.5 of the software or the camera itself?
It's 1.50 of the API. Yeah. Or yeah. Hold on. Yeah, and so the user will have to upgrade the firmware as well on the camera, and I think on the QX10 it's firmware version 3. So before we just had like image capture, movie recording, and quite simple things like that. And we had a lot of feedback on the developers wanted more features, and of course we listened to that and we tried to add as much as possible. So for this time we've added the ones you can see here on the right. So you can change the ISO speed rate, white balance, exposure mode. And for the QX100 you have a bit more, and these are the 3 extras you have on the QX100. So you have the shutter speed, you have the still size and f number to control as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna go into the communication lifecycle. Basically describe how the camera is talking to your phone. And I would actually like to say here is that the camera is working over the Wi-Fi, which means you're not tied to only use a phone to develop apps for this. So you can use a computer or anything that utilizes Wi-Fi you can use to make applications that utilizes the camera. So we have a Wi-Fi connection on top. Then we do a device discovery. And once we know where the device is, we can do an API call. And I will go into this a bit further. So
quick question regarding the Wi-Fi. The camera creates its own, right?
Yes.
Can you join another one?
No. So you will have to set up a proxy for it in such case. So simple service discovery protocol is used to discover where the camera is on the network. This is because normally, we have a lot of cameras, as you can see. There's 15 cameras that supports this API. And so you might not know what your user is using for camera and where that camera is located in the network. So you will do a SSDP call to make sure that you get the right information on what API they're using and where where you can find the API for that device. And does anyone know what? Has anyone worked with SSDP before? No one? Okay. So what SSDP basically is, it's a network protocol, and you can using. Okay, do you know what HTTPU is? Okay. No? Yes? No? Okay. You know what HTTP is? Good. Okay. So we have HTTPU, which is basically HTTP but with UDP. So you will send out a message via UDP on HTTP on a specific IP, as you can see over here. And here you will post a message saying you're looking for something. So you're just posting a message, not connecting to anyone, just posting a message, hey, I'm looking for this type of device. And then that device will tell you, hey, I'm over here, check this file for my information. And then it will send you a universal plug and play XML file. So you start off with just pointing this one out saying, I'm looking for a Sony camera. And then the camera will say, hey, I'm a Sony camera. You can find out more about my features over here. So you don't need a DHCP or DNS server to find the camera. And if the camera, when the camera comes online, it will show a notify instead of an mSearch. So you will send an mSearch to look for something, while services will send a notify to tell you, hey, I just got online, you can use me over here. Or if they're going offline, they'll go like, hey, sorry, going offline. Yeah. So let's look at a little bit more detailed. So we make an mSearch, and it's a bit small here, but what we are saying here is what we're looking for. It's a Sony service, and this is what it's called, Scalar Web API. I have a better slide for that, so don't worry. And then you will get back information, and in the parameter, it's a simple HTTP response, and in that you will have a parameter that's called location, which will point to a UPnP file. And then you just get that UPnP file, and then you got the information about what kind of device am I dealing with. And then you can start doing API calls. What you could do is, you could start doing API calls without doing these first steps. Problem is, it will not be reliable, because it will only work with, for example, if you tried it with the QX10, it might only work with a QX10, because you're not sure that the QX100 will use the same IP addresses and stuff like that. Also, you're not sure if the QX10 will use the same IP address in the future as well. So it's always important to use the SSDP to find out where is the actual camera and where do I need to send my requests, even though you know them already. So let's talk about accessing the API.
So one question.
Yeah.
You said it was possible to proxy the Wi-Fi. So does that mean that you could potentially control several cameras at the same time?
Yes.
Really?
It could, but it requires a bit of work, because then you will have to have a something in between that's connected to the camera, like via Wi-Fi connected to the camera, and then via other Wi-Fi connected to another Wi-Fi. So it need to be connected 2 ways, or more if you want more cameras. It's yeah. So that's how you want to do it if you need to do a proxy. Here's an example of a discovery request. So as you can see, it looks just like a normal HTTP request, just that instead of get or post, we put mSearch in the beginning, and we just send it to this host. And here is the important part, ST, search target. This specifies what we're looking for. So you can see we're looking for a Sony scheme, and we're looking for this API, and with this version. And a good thing here, if you're sending this message and you're not getting any answer, the first thing to make sure is that you're actually sending the last end line. I'm just saying this because that's the that's the norm. That's the most common error when doing HTTP requests. You forget to send the last end line, and you're sitting there. Why am I not getting any answer? So, just FYI. And here is a response. As I said before, what's interesting here is the location parameter, because that tells us where we can find more information about where the description of the device is. Otherwise, we'll just get some more information about, okay, what type of device is it here, but yeah, it doesn't really tell you where the API is. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna show you how to make some API calls, and just to show you how easy it is, I will be doing them with Firefox. So I will do a raw HTTP request to the camera, and as you can see here, got some JSON on top of the screen, and this is because when you're making API calls, you're sending JSON data. You're posting JSON data to the camera, and you will get a JSON response back. So it's very simple. In this case, one good thing to do, the first thing you do is check what kind of APIs are available, like what kind of functions can I use on the camera. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, like in Firefox. So, have you ever seen this console before? It's not that important, but you can check the network with the help of web tools. You can check the network, and then you can just go like change it, like we're doing a post, and I've already done this one before, and we're gonna do. Oh. Should be like that, right?
It says what?
Yep,
available API list.
Yes, that's the function. Hopefully I spelled it correct. Yes, and the response we get here you can see it responds with a JSON, and it gives us a list of all the features or functions we can use. Let's see here. And let's try taking a picture as well. And it's the same thing, it's just that we changed the method. Just say,
You will be in the picture.
should I be in the picture instead? Okay. Well, it's the same deal. We'll just go back to editor, and we'll go like this. Take picture. So, and we get a response, and in the response we will get a URI. And we can just take that URI, put it up here, bam, and I'm so photogenic, it's incredible. So here we got the picture, beautiful. So it's that simple to take a picture with it. Let's try something else. Let's zoom a bit. If we can actually put it up. If I can borrow it, because this will. If you can look at the thingy. So we will call a new function called ActZoom, and it takes two parameters. It says which direction and to start it. I'm thinking I'm doing it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if it moves. Ooh. So what I do, basically it has three modes in this case. We can start it, we can stop it, and we can go one step. So if we want to, like, just if the user taps the button to zoom, you will just go like one shot instead of doing like this. If they hold the button in, you will say start zooming, and then you will continue zooming in that direction until they release the button. So if you would like to just slightly zoom out, in this case, we just go out, and you won't probably be able to see it because it's really small one. Like, yeah, it's really small.
Sure.
So it makes a difference when taking the image.
Can you send like 10 shots
let's try. I do not believe so, but we can try it. Should I be saying shots instead of shot? Do you think that? Let's try both. Okay, so this gave an error, so that's not it. Let's try plural then, because maybe they're thinking like, well, if you want more than one, you have to pluralize it. Well, no, sorry. Not possible. So it's one shot or start, stop. Yeah. Yeah, let's zoom out again actually, because otherwise it will be, it's a bit, because the optical zoom is pretty good, so I will probably just see a little bit of part of the bottle over there. So great.
Does it have a turbo speed?
For extra fast zooming? Yeah. I'm sorry, I only believe it has one speed.
A really quick loop, saying one shot.
Yeah, I hope it's not a deal breaker.
No.
So let's look at some other functions here. So some of the function will require some parameters, which is dependent on what the camera is used. Because as you know, cameras have different possibilities depending on what their megapixels are and whatnot.
Missing an eye from still. I couldn't bet.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the text is even smaller over here. So, so let's try to get some information from it. Okay. So currently, this is the size of the images we're taking, the aspect ratio and the megapixels. So we want to change that, and in order for us to present the correct parameters available for the user, we will have to get the available still sizes. So we just say get available still size, and then we will get a few data here. The first object is the current one we're using, and then we can see the different ones available. For example, we can try switching over to this one or that one even. Then we will do like this. Set still size. Then we're saying it's 4.3 and it's it was 18 megapixels, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's try this one. Looks okay. Let's try to take a picture then.
You cannot make your own combinations of sizes? 5 and or 16, 9 and I don't know, 8 megs or
let's try.
something that wasn't on the list.
Let's. Do you want me to try? Okay, I can try.
Curious.
Okay. I would say no,
Most likely.
because otherwise there would be no list. But yeah. So okay, let's not try it because I really don't think that it will work. Anyway. Let's check a new picture just to see this. Google. Wait. Yeah, so. Oh, okay, great. So, as you can see here, there's a little bit difference in what kind of size it is. So, what we did matters. Yeah, okay. So, I'm gonna go in a little bit very quick in the sample code that's available at the site I show you. I will show you the URI later, again. But in the sample code, you will have an application you can look at to which uses some of the features. And there's two features that are quite good to look at. One of them are an event manager. It will check on the camera and see what kind of mode it's in, because normally when you have a camera you set it in movie mode or shooting mode. So either you record movies or you take images, and often you will have to say like, hey, I want to go into movie mode. So the camera will set itself, and then you can start taking movies. And it's important that you show to your user if it's in shooting mode or movie mode. Otherwise it will be hard to take pictures. Also, if you're recording a movie and you stop recording a movie and saving the movie, then it will be busy for a while. So then you will have to make sure that you're not sending calls to it. Well, you could send calls to it, but yeah, the user might experience a bad situation, like it's not responding or something like that. So it has a good event manager to check up upon what's the current status. And the other good thing is it has a live view feature, which basically means that during this time we can have a video stream ongoing to show us what's in front of the camera, because normally you don't shoot in the blind. You want to see what's in front of the camera, how does it look like right now. And you can start the live view and you can get the information from that, and you can see a continuous stream of images showing what's in front of the camera. And there's a really good manager for that as well in the code, so you can utilize. And this is first I will show you how the actual app looks like. It looks like this when you start it up, very simple. You can press the button and it will do a SSDP call. It also has the code for doing that. It has the code for parsing the XML, doing the UPnP stuff, everything. So all you ever need is in this. So if you want to do it for Android. There's also an iPhone version available in the SDK. So if you're developing for iPhone, there's code for that as well. So you start the device discovery, and then it will show here, as you can see, an item. It found this camera, this type of camera. You can press that, and then you will come to this. So it shows a live view stream, and it has the possibility to take picture and start movie recording. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, and then you see the current status of the camera over here. Quite simple, but it has all the parts you need to get started. Okay, so I'm gonna just pop into the code very briefly, just to show you a few things. So there's a lot of different files here, as you can see, for handling it. Maybe I don't even know how to zoom in. Is there a shortcut for that? No. Okay, let's see if I can check the. Can I go like this? Is this available? Okay, keep change this. Can you read this?
Can you see it?
Okay.
I'm thinking about the video.
Yeah.
So
Let's.
people watching it can see it too.
Well, we can start off by going through the files here. So as you can see, there's a lot of files here. So don't be scared, but it's just helper classes, most of them. For example, we have the XML element. This will help you parse the XML documents. And you have the simple HTTP client over here for sending and receiving messages via HTTP. Same thing here for SSDP client. Has all the functions you need there. You're just saying, hey, send this message, and it will give you a callback function once it found something. So super sweet stuff. And the things I want to show you are these two: the live view surface and live view slicer. So we have a surface to show you the live view, and it gets its data from the slicer, which basically means that there is a continuous stream of images coming from the camera. So you're gonna get images all the time, and for each image you will receive a payload. So you'll say like, hey, how big is this message? And you will just get that message, and then you will decode that as an image, and then you got that image, and then you can present it to the user. And then you say, okay, let's get the next payload, and then you find out, okay, how big is this image? Okay, then download that image and put it up as well. And yeah, let's see if I can show you the code in this small window, but I just want to show you it briefly so you recognize it when you're looking at it. Yeah.
Can you go full screen
minimize
on the tab? Double click on the tab. Usually.
Let's see like this. That's a little bit better. Yeah. I usually don't have time to go into the actual code, so I'm just showing it super briefly. So here you have it. This is reading all the time in this code. It's in its own thread, just reading it, and it will check the first couple of bytes to see how big is the incoming data, and then from that it will read all the data, and in the end it will parse the data as a JPEG data. I'm just saying this because some might be scared when they see all these numbers just popped in there, but it's quite simple code if you know what it's actually doing. So that's why I want to mention it, because the live view is quite an important feature to utilize. So it's important not to be scared of this code. Yep. Then I just want to pop to this one as well. So you can download the SDK over here, and as I said before, you will find Android code, you will find iPhone code, and you can write this for anything. As you see, it was very easy to do the things manually via Firefox. You can do it super easy in JavaScript. I can take pictures and present it in like 3 lines in JavaScript. So and in this SDK you will also be able to find 2 PDF files for the API references. You will have a full list of all the features available and what options to send them and what to think about when using certain features. And the good thing about it is like the API document is based to give you information so it works for all the cameras, not just the one you're sitting with. It should work for 15 cameras. So that's a good thing to think about. Sony. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for me. And if you have questions, feel free to ask me. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.